on Faith Talk TV, we always say everyone has a story. And so, Richard, you've been a big part of my personal journey and story. And it was interesting. I did my first children's book about over a year ago. And I was at the Broadmoor Hotel with my Bible and my Unlimiting God, penning my little story, and finished reading this on the way home and saw your picture. I just thought it was like one of those, you know, who's that guy? And then months later, we were in your home, unbeknownst to you.
Our home's never recovered.
That's right. And had a great interview. It's really been one of the highlights of Faith Talk TV for us. So thank you. But we know there's some other exciting Blackaby news that maybe you'd like to share.
Yeah.
You want to?
Well, I'm real excited about this book. It's my son's first book. I've got two boys, and they both have just written their first book. It's called When Worlds Collide. And the subtitle is Stepping Up and Standing Out in an Anti-God Culture. And their whole book is about young people that grow up in the church, and every week their parents bring them to church, and they go to Sunday school, and they go to youth events. But then when they hit college, statistics say that about 70% of those kids will, at least for a time, walk away from church and walk away from God. And it's staggering percentage when you think that for 18 or so years they've had exposure every week to our church and God's people, the Bible, preaching, worship, and yet after 18 years of exposure to essentially the best that we have in our faith, they say, I'm not interested. And so this book is all about the response we have when these kids who've grown up with their church world suddenly come face to face with a world that's very hostile toward their faith and Christian values. And it's a humorous book. It's got a lot of fun stories, but a lot of great wisdom as well. Written so that young people will like to read it, but the reality is that lots of grown adults will have a lot of fun with this too.
Sure. Well, we're really excited about that, and we had heard about that when we were at your home, and hopefully we can connect with the boys and get an interview with the next generation Blackabys.
They do a very entertaining interview.
Well, yeah, I can only imagine.
Be a little scared after
I know.
Torn apart the living room and spilled the
I was going to
soda.
say, it'll be at your house next time.
So
you fix the damage.
Oh my gosh.
And this time Lisa can drop something.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Leave something behind, the remnant.
That's right.
Exactly.
I'll bring some extra jewelry. So
would you please? Right, but it would be wonderful. God has that in the plan, and we've been working with a lot of the youth in the Milwaukee area as well, and you talked about your children with their music and their penning a book and things. So that invitation's open to you and your family. That'd be wonderful.
You know, and too, the young people, they're so different in so many ways from our generation, but there's a certain fearlessness and creativity in the 20-something, the teenagers of today, that I really think that, you know, my prayer for all three of my kids is not that I've got a little cookie cutter mold that if they just all be like their dad, you know. I say I'm sure none of them will be
mini me's.
Yeah, they would not want to limit themselves that much. You know, that there's so much more that they will do, and so I always encourage people, whatever else you're doing in your life, make sure you're taking some time to invest in the next generation, because they are so creative, they're so daring. You know, they will go on mission trips. They'll go to dangerous countries and things that I would have been scared to death to have gone when I was their age. And they're so creative that I have such hope for the next generation. And if there's anything, I feel like right now I'm so excited about my boys writing their first book, because I'm convinced that what my three kids will do will far surpass anything I did in my lifetime. And there's three of them out there, and there's one of me. So if I've invested in those three, I've just multiplied my own spiritual influence. And so I always encourage parents, whether it's your own kids or just young people in the church. I tried in the church I was in for quite a while as a member, never to walk in through the lobby of the church and not try to at least encourage or smile or say something to at least one young person. Just glad that they chose to come to church, but as they serve God, if they give a testimony, if they play in the worship band, to go out of your way to say, hey, you know, it just blessed me to see you there just jamming this morning on the worship band, and God just uses you, and just keep on serving Him. And So boy, I tell you, that's where the action is that generation. And I think in some ways we've dropped the ball in our generation, and we look at the state of the nation today and the world and say, hey, I'm sorry. I think we need to sort of, instead of condemning the next generation, we ought to apologize to them.
Exactly.
And say we're sorry, because I look at what was handed to us when we were 20, and this was handed to us, and now I look at what we're handing to you, the debt that we're handing to you, the society, the moral standards, and what I'm handing to you is a lot worse shape than what was handed to me. And so instead of putting you down and saying, oh, I can't believe you listen to that music, I want to say, hey, I'm sorry. But I just want to pray for you and bless you and encourage you and do whatever I can to help you maybe to reclaim some stuff that was lost during my generation.
Well, your sons are really kind of starting their own little ministry, if I'm understanding that correctly, and they have a blog, did you say? Or
they write for a blog, yeah. It's,
would you want to
Sure, it's
share
called,
that
it's on, you can find it at Josiah Road, just King Josiah's name and road.com.
All right.
And that's not their ministry, that's a part of a ministry that they write a blog for every week, but their book is, when it comes out next year, their names are Mike and Daniel Blackaby, and you'll see they'll have a lot of their stuff then on their site, and probably even some of their music. It's pretty edgy music for people my age. You've got to know how to headbang and be in a mosh pit.
Really?
I went to one of their little concerts, and my wife and I tried to go into a mosh pit just to experience it.
Okay,
and I walked with a limp for the next week. So
Did they pass you across?
Well, no one could lift me. I was too big.
That could be a problem.
My little teenage daughter came and slammed into me. I didn't know that you did that. I know there's physical, body contact.
Did you look and go, what's wrong with you?
I should have worn my hockey equipment when I was in the... But,
I think I'll take a pass on that kind of thing. But
maybe just listen to it. No.
But with Faith Talk TV, Kim and I just are so excited to be sharing with our viewers what God is doing through ordinary people. And to be here today has been a gift. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'm thinking that maybe we will get invited back again, and the next time we'll get to talk with Mike and Daniel, because their book might be published. Some music, maybe some more interesting things going on with their music, so we can share.